What else, free bro? Salvation.
Salvation.
Hey, you got many mansions. Think about salvation, get the dancing. My flesh vain, is my heart not trouble, I will pain. We trust in Abba, he the one that kill your problems. We thinking Abba, now we know about that lava. The streets of gold, walking on that road, I can't sell my soul. Hell no, I'ma be the light everywhere I go. Ain't no vaccine up in the temple. The devil know that the most I dwelling in you. They tryna shoot you up, that should really offend you.
My cry for mercy as I call on you for help, as I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. I just wanna be worthy. I just wanna be
Shabbat Shalawam, Shabbat Shalawam. Let's give all praises, honor, glory, esteem to the Father, YAHAWAH, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai. Shalawam to all of the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam, the brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. We say Shalawam, Shalom, peace and blessings. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and send those emails in. We continually getting those emails, those likes, those notifications, and all those things. And hopefully I'm answering everybody as quick as I can. So I greatly appreciate it. Continue to do that. Make sure to hit that like button to get this message out to the algorithm as we continue on. As you can see today, it says behave wisely and YAHAWAH and YAH will be with you, right? So that's what we're going to speak about today, being wise, you know, as the Bible tells us. We're going to go dive right into the scriptures. We're not going to hold. All praises be to the Father and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai. Let's go into the scriptures. We're not going. Oh, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the audio is good, please. And everything is coming in. Okay. Let's dive into the scriptures. I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 1. And I'll be reading from Proverbs 1 and 20. And I'm going to read this out of the New Living. Just on this one, though. Right? It says, wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. People want to know why we go to the highways, byways. Why are the young men out there in public squares, wherever they are? You know, sometimes they're in the New York square, Times Square, and different parts. The brothers in Baltimore, they be on the ports. So we're in different parts of the world, different parts of the cities, different parts. But wherever we're crying out, right? Verse 21 says, she calls to the crowds along the main street. And that's exactly what the brothers do when they're out there. They call to the crowds. They preach the word. They're letting the word be heard loud, right? To those gathered in front of the city gate, how long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? This is a question he's asking. And this is for all of us. How long will you mockers relish in mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? He took it all the way down and called us fools because we're rejecting the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High. Verse 23 says, come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. This is a beautiful thing. He's saying he'll share his heart. And in that, it will make us wise. We're not wise already, even though we think we are as human beings, but we're really not. The things that we're taught when we come into this world are foolishness, and it's not true wisdom. Verse 24, I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached out to you, but you paid no attention. You might say, well, how is he reaching out to you? This is the calling that's on you, right? We were just speaking about that. Many are called, but few are chosen. But this is the calling that's on you. He's reaching out to you. You know, he called your number, put it in the phone, and it's ringing. When your phone rings, you have to do what? Can you talk to that person without picking it up and answering? No. It'll just ring, and then it'll go to voicemail. You have to do something, which is pick up the call, press the button, and say what? Hello. And then you engage in a conversation. So he's calling to us. As he said, he reached out. But when he reaches out, a lot of us, we pay no attention. Whether we're too busy with work, school, kids, whatever you have going on in your life that you are trying to establish. Verse 25 says, you ignored my advice. So he has given us advice, but we ignore it. The commandments, the statutes, the laws, the writings that he has given us, but we ignore it. On an average, you ask any individual, Monday through Friday, the average individual 18 and above usually work anywhere from 25 to 40 hours a week on a minimum, right? Part-time, full-time. So you're giving 25 to 40 hours to a job. How much time do you give to the Most High and his word in a 24-period-hour day? You have to ask yourself that. People get on social media. People go to work for 8 hours. People talk to their significant other. They talk to their kids. They stop and get them something to eat. They may read a book. They may watch a movie. It's many things that people do throughout the course of the day. They need to go shopping, grocery shopping, shopping for their home. But in all of that time, how much time did you give the Most High? Some people don't even give him, I'll just say 15 minutes within a day. Not even 15 minutes. They won't even give him that. But they'll spend 15 minutes talking on the phone, gossiping. They'll spend 15 minutes watching a video, playing a game, doing many different things, but not 15 minutes of either prayer or reading his word or just talking with him, meditating on his word. These things are important. How can you grow? How can you grow a relationship with someone and you don't spend time with them? I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody grow a relationship and you don't spend time with them. You never see them. You never hang out. How can you grow anything? It says you ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. Are we rejecting his correction that he has offered us? We have to think about that. Do we reject his correction that he has offered? He says in verse 26, so I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock you when disaster overtakes you. This is the Most High speaking through the Spirit. This is something that we have to think about. Like, people in this world, they always talking about God loves everybody and God is this and God is that. But when you open up the Bible and you really read his word, he's telling you, because you rejected the correction that I offered you, when the time of trouble in your life that you're going to go through, he says, I'm going to laugh at you. What type of individual or what type of man laughs at someone when they're in trouble? Shows us he has a lot of what? Characteristics. Just as well as you laugh when you see something funny, your creator laughs too. In a different way, but he does laugh. He's telling you, I'm going to laugh. But he's going to laugh when you're in trouble, because he extended the olive branch to you. He extended his hand to you and you knocked it away. Verse 27, when calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you, when they cry for help, I will not answer. Notice the world only cries out for help when they're going through these type of things: calamities, storms, disasters. You might say, well, when do we go through that? Well, you have all these hurricanes that comes, tsunamis. What do we get here in the U.S. in the middle? What are those called? Tornadoes that go and tear up a lot of stuff. Earthquakes, fires. All these things are sent from the Most High. And we see them on TV. You see them when a tornado hit, the earthquakes hit, all these different things here. You see them on national TV crying. I remember when they had the fires out here in Hollywood or wherever those rich people live in California. I believe it was the Hollywood Hills, right? Something like that.
It was down in LA.
Down in LA, yeah. And they were on TV talking about how they losing their $1 million homes, and they were crying, and we lost all our portraits and memories and things of this nature. You know, they was on TV saying, can we get some help? GoFundMe and all that. The Most High says right here in verse 28, I will not answer. He didn't answer. He kept the fire going too. Though they anxiously search for me, not anxiously. How do you pronounce that? Anxiously, I did say it right. Okay. They will not find me, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear Yahawah. You ask an average individual, I'll ask you, do you hate knowledge? Do you hate knowledge? Just knowledge in general. Do you hate it? You have acquired knowledge since you've been a whippersnapper yay high, right? When you came out, you didn't know how to walk. You didn't know how to talk. You didn't know what 5 + 2 was, right? You didn't know how to go to the store and purchase something. All those things are knowledge. You gain knowledge, right? Now you know how to go to the store. If they say $1.99, you know how to go in your pocket, pull out $2, and then if you give them $2 and it's $1.99, they're supposed to give you what back? A penny. You didn't know that?
I don't actually ask.
No, whether you ask or not, I'm just saying what they were supposed to give you back. A penny, right? That was knowledge. It says, for they have hated knowledge. Do you hate knowledge?
No.
No. What about you? You hate knowledge? No. What about you? No. So nobody hates knowledge here. It says, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear Yahawah. Uh-oh. So what is true knowledge in this verse? If you was to read it for yourself and you say, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear Yahweh.
The fear.
Huh?
Fear.
The fear. So the fear of Yahweh is true knowledge. And if you don't fear Yahweh, then you hate knowledge. Right? We have to remember that the wisdom of this world holds at 29. Remember, Proverbs 1 and 29. Let's get this. Let's jump real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Let me start about 18. Let me see. Okay. It says 1 Corinthians 3 and 18. Stop deceiving yourselves. If you think you are wise by this world's standards, you need to become a fool to be truly wise. So there's a lot of people in this world that we live in that believe that they are wise. They truly do. They have degrees on the back of their walls, 2 or 3, doctor such and such, PhD, all these different type of things. But the Bible says that those people are what? They're fools. And they're deceiving their own self, thinking that they are wise. Verse 19 says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness to the Most High. As the scriptures say, he traps the wise in the snare of their own cleverness. And again, Yahweh knows the thoughts of the wise. He knows they are what? Worthless. So there is a knowledge of this world. And this is what you see people teach. This is why you go to school. You know, you get your diplomas, your degrees. But that's the wisdom of this world. That's the knowledge of this world. And to the Most High is foolishness. Let me ask you this. Can I present this? Why is it foolishness to the Most High? The knowledge of this world. Does anybody know or have any thought? That's true. It is going to be done away with. But why is the knowledge of this world foolishness? No. It's not going to get to the kingdom. I'll say it like this. Who created the knowledge of this world? Who has given it to us?
I guess you're looking for Ahchyam.
I mean, in so many ways it is Ahchyam, but it's men.
Well, men had to learn from somewhere. So
Right.
It can't just be men. If you say who gave the knowledge.
Who gave the knowledge that we have today?
For the world, I would say Ahchyam because this is his playground.
Okay.
And man learned from Ahchyam.
And man learned from Ahchyam, and then it turned into one thing into another. So really the knowledge that we have is from men coming from who? Satan. So this is why a man or a woman can think that they're wise, which they do, but really are what? Fools. This is why it says in 18, stop deceiving yourself. Because when you think that you're wise, you're really deceiving yourself. Let's go back to the Proverbs. Where was we at? 20 what? 29. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Most High Yahweh. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. 31. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. So this is when you make your own decisions and you go off. You know, he told you to walk the right way. He told you don't go to the left. He told you don't go to the right. He told you don't do this and don't do that. You said, I'm going to do it anyway, right? I'm going to do it anyway. So in doing that, now you got to eat what? The bitter fruit of living in your own way. Choking on their own schemes. When you choke, you almost what? Die. You can't breathe. 32. For the simpletons, turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own compliancy. So the Bible, he calls us fools because what? We're destroyed by their own what?
Complacency.
And what does that mean?
Their own doings.
Huh?
Their own doings.
Their own doings. Verse 33. But all who listen to me will live in what? Peace, untroubled by fear of harm. So we understand two things that we get from this. What are those two things? There's one knowledge that's in the world. It's foolishness to the Most High. But the true knowledge and being really true and wise in this world is to do what? Fear the Most High. That's the true wisdom. That's the true knowledge. He gives us all these different instructions. Let's go to it real quick. Let's go to a few of them. Exodus chapter 20. Just the classic. Go ahead. Exodus 20 and 1.
NLT.
No. King James. I switched it, didn't it? Yeah. Go ahead.
And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am YAHAWAH Ahchyam, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other deities before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in water under the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, the Ahchyam, am a jealous Ahchyam, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy Ahchyam in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy Ahchyam. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Ahchyam giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
All right. Read 18. Read 18.
And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
They removed and stood far off. Why? They were scared. Right? They were scared. Read 19.
And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die.
Don't let the Most High speak with us. You speak with us, Moses. We don't want to hear the Most High. It's too traumatic. It's too overwhelming to hear him speaking or whatever voice was being heard. The things that were happening, the thunder, the lightning, the trumpet blowing, the smoke. It was too overwhelming from there. They couldn't take it. They were focusing on what? The wrong thing instead of the things that were being said. This is the information he has given us that is wrong to what? Kill. It says, thou shalt not kill. There's plenty of killing going on. Somebody got killed last night. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Somebody always sleeping with somebody's wife or husband. They make shows about it. It's all over social media. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, meaning against your brother. Don't lie on your brother or your sister. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it what? Holy. Exodus 28. This is being wise. This is wisdom. To top it all off, when it starts off up here in verse 4, that thou shalt make what? Unto thee. You shouldn't make a graven image in any likeness of anything that is what? In the heaven or the earth beneath. Verse 5 says they shouldn't bow down to him. We see this constantly within the earth that people have what? Graven images, and they do what? Bow down to them. People still go to those congregations. They still go to those churches. They still go to those camps, and they're a part of it. This is the information, some of it, not all of it, of course, that is being rejected. This is the wisdom that's being rejected. Our people are bowing down to graven images. Our people have likeness in their homes, in their cars, on their videos, on their social media platforms. Images of the Most High. Images of YAHAWAH HaMashiach. And they may say, well, I'm not bowing down to him, but you serving them. You serving them. It's so deep that the Most High said we shouldn't even say the name of another deity. Let me get that real quick. It's in the chapter 23, I believe, in Exodus. Let me see how good my memory still is. Exodus 23. Let me see. Yeah, 13, right? It's right there. Exodus 23 and 13. It says in all, let me select it. Exodus 23, 13. And in all things that I've said unto you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of other gods, deities, Elohayams, Elohims, however you want to say it. Neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. So this is a command that we're not even supposed to speak on other deities, other names, other gods. And definitely not out of your mouth. But do you know that you do it every day? Watch this. What's today?
December 6th.
Huh?
December 6th.
But today, what's today?
Saturday.
Huh?
Saturday.
Say it again.
Saturday.
What's tomorrow?
Sunday.
What come after Sunday?
Monday.
So she just gave me 3 different gods' names without even knowing it. Every day of the week is named after a different God. And people say it every day. Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. They even got a nickname for Wednesday. What they call it? Okay, y'all don't know. They call it Hump Day. Because you're getting over the hump. You got 2 more days to go. So these are things that were given to us as a people to let us know things that we shouldn't do. Wisdom. This is how you become wise in the sight of the other nations, right? Let's get a few more. Leviticus. Read verse 20. Come.
The one in Exodus 20.
Exodus 20 and 20.
Yeah.
You want that?
I'm
Exodus
just
20.
saying, you were reading those, so you should have read number 20.
Okay, Kyle, let's go back. Exodus 20 and 20.
And Moses said unto the people.
Hold on, let me pull it on the screen. Okay, we read 19. Read 19 and then 20. Go ahead.
And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for the Most High come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Gone.
He come to do what? Prove you. This is what I was asking earlier before we went live when we was having our own little thing, and I was asking, what fire is that? And you was like, is that the fire when Yahawashi come back? But I said, no, this is the fire where he comes and he proves you. He puts you in that furnace. He puts you in that fire to get those old things off of you. This is what I meant by how you was in Romans 6 when it says you were free from that obligation. You didn't have an obligation before you came into the truth. You was just a slave to sin. But now that he has awakened you and has given you that insight, now you're not free from that no more. So now he got to prove you. You get what I mean? And when it comes to the Most High, it ain't no overnight thing like, oh, it's going to be 1 week and I'm proved in it and I'm good to go. No, the children of Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years. And then he decided to let them go into the land. Did all people make it? No. A lot of them were what? Killed, died, murdered. Because of what? Their rebellion against the Most High. And he sent plagues on them for things that they did. Mocking, talking about Moses, backbiting, murmuring about the Most High. Oh, he should have left us in Egypt. We ate better in Egypt. We want some meat, Moses. We tired of eating manna. So the Most High said, okay, you want some meat? Be careful. That's when we come to the Most High. Be careful what you say. He said, you want some meat? I give you some meat. What did he send them? Quail. And they were so happy to get it. And it says, the Bible says, as they were eating it and the meat was in their mouth, they started to die. Meaning they received what they wanted. They got the pleasure of it. They were tasting the meat. But as they were receiving it, the Most High was killing them. So the Most High comes to prove you. And it's a period of time.
It's almost like when it says not to be afraid, like fear not. For Ahchyam has come to prove you.
Yeah.
That his fear may be before your faces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, don't be afraid of the situation that you're in. Be more afraid of what the outcome can be if you don't do what he told you to do.
All praise. And a lot of times, you know, as you can see it through the word of the Most High, that the people wasn't afraid. You know, not all of them, But there were some that didn't fear, that went against the Most High. So all these things were given to us for instructions as we started off this whole lesson in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20 on down. Let's get a few more as we move forward. Leviticus real quick. 19 and 1, it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your Allah, am holy, or Kodash. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths, for I am Yahweh, your Allah. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods, or Elohayams. I am Yahweh, your Allah. So he's giving us all these different, we know they're commands, but he's giving us what? Instructions on how to separate yourself, one, to become wise, two, to become Kodash, holy. Don't turn to idols or molten images. Love your mother and your father. Fear them. And then he goes into verse 5 and says, and if you offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh, ye shall offer it at your own will. What does it mean to offer something at your own will?
To do it because you want to.
Exactly. To do it because you want to. So if in Romans 2 or Romans 12, Paul says that it is the reasonable duty basically to sacrifice yourself, do you have to do it at your own will or because somebody's making you do it?
Your own will.
Your own will. It goes on to tell a lot of different other things. I'm not going to read all of this, of course, because there are so many commands and different things in here. But I do want to read one more. Let me jump down a little bit. This is something that goes on. The reason I'm going to read this is something that goes on. Let me get in a comparative text too, because this is something that goes on in today's time right now for those who have a job, employment, different things of that nature. In the New King James, it says, you shall not cheat your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of him who is hired shall not remain with you all night until the morning. Huh? This is Leviticus 19, verse 13. The New Living Translation, it says, do not defraud or rob your neighbor, which is your brother. Do not make your hired workers wait until the next day to receive their pay. So we can see in the world that we live in, it doesn't go according to the instructions of the Bible, because there are some people that wait to get their check after they work every 2 weeks. Then there are some people who do get a check every week, but they're still waiting. And then you have other people who only get paid once a month. The Bible says that is wrong. It says it's what? It's a defraud. Clearly, it says, do not make your hired workers. When you work for somebody, you are a hired worker. And you shouldn't have to wait until the next day to receive your payment. Meaning whatever you did today, if you worked 8 hours a day, they should pay you for your 8 hours that day. You shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks from now or a month from now to receive your wages. This is how you know that this world is not wise or righteous in the ways in the sight of the Most High. These are instructions. Now, for you, when you hire somebody, then what do? You pay them when they do the work. You pay them that night for the work that they have done. So I guess you could say if somebody come over, they're gonna do the yard. Now the yard can't be done in one day, but say you charge them $50 to do the yard. I guess you would have to examine the work that they did that day and feel the ways that need to be given to them that day because the job is not complete. So I guess you would go out there, look at it, and say, okay, here's $20 for the work that you did today. And then tomorrow, that person will come back and maybe go ahead and finish the job off. Or you could pay them $25 today and $25 the next day. Shouldn't take more than 2 days, depending on what size yard you have. But that person receives their wages that day. And there are many other things, like I say, instructions that are in the Torah. It's full of instructions for us, which is the wisdom to make one wise, not only in this world, but in the kingdom to come. How do we know this? Let's get it. Deuteronomy, chapter 4, the classic, right? This is how we know these things. And yeah, somebody might tell you that you're not wise. Somebody may think, a lot of people think I'm crazy. You know, they look at me, they see the straggly beard, sometimes the clothes I wear, you know, they call you names, they mock you. You know, you don't look like the average. Why he don't go get his hair cut? Why he don't do this? Why he don't, you know? I'm not saying you shouldn't look presentable, of course. I'm not saying that. But to certain individuals, it's like, why does he have long hair? Why does he, you know? So Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1, it says, now therefore hearken, O Israel. So what does the word hearken mean? What does the word hearken mean? Listen. So
garage, entry, door.
Sorry about that, you guys. I apologize for the thing about the door. It says, now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto statutes and to the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that you may live and go and possess the land which Yahawah, your Allah of your fathers, giveth you. So there's a lot in there right there. He has given the children of Israel something. And in giving that to them, he's letting them know when they go and possess this land, he's giving it to them because of what? Their fathers. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? Now, a lot of times in the book of Revelation, get that for me in Revelation. We're going to go there. The last chapter. This is where a lot of these things come from. This is why you have to read the entirety of the Bible. It says in verse 2, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahawah your Allah, which I command you. So the Bible here in Deuteronomy says you can't add or take away from it. Now, in the book of Revelation, it says the same thing. You got it? We'll go to it and then we'll come right back. Revelation chapter 22. Revelation chapter 22, verse 18. He says right here, for I testify unto you, or I testify unto every man that heareth the words of this prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. Verse 19, and if any man shall take away from these words of this book, of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So a lot of times us as individuals, we take upon it ourselves when we read things in the Bible, whether it was added in or whether it was taken away. Like we know the 14 books out of the Apocrypha. We know it was things added in when they write those things. What do they call them? What's the word I'm looking for? When they italics and different things of this nature that were added into the book for the so-called reader to be able to read it properly, right? And even, you know, other people say other things that were added in, and we shouldn't have did certain things, and, you know, back and forth. But what you fail to realize, or what people fail to realize, is that it's not your problem. It's really not. If somebody added, the Most High is telling you from Deuteronomy, this is in the Torah, this is where they get this from in Revelation. We're going to go right back to Deuteronomy. The Most High is already telling you, if any man comes along and add any extra thing to my word, I'm going to take care of that. Don't worry about that. And if any man comes along and takes from my word, I'm going to take care of that. How do we know that? Because it's telling you right here in verse 19, and if any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things that are written in this book. So they have a judgment against them already. You don't have to jump in the middle and, oh, they added things, or, oh, they took away things. I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. You doing something that's not even in your part, not even in your play. The Most High says, I have this already. And this is way back from the Torah. This is not a new concept here in Revelation 22, 18, and 19. Once again, this comes all the way back from the Torah, the first 5 books. Let's go back there in Deuteronomy where he stated this. And this is where Revelation gets it. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish. Diminish means to what? Take something away. Something is being taken out from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahawah, your Allah, which I command you. Verse 3, your eyes have seen what Yahawah did because of Baal Peor, for all the men that followed Baal Peor, Yahawah thy Allah have destroyed them from among you, right? That was something else that Israel was doing, following wickedness, basically. And the Most High destroyed them for that. Verse 4, but ye that did cleave unto Yahawah your Allah are alive, every one of you this day. So the ones that, Salakia, the ones that cleaved or put their trust in the Most High, they still alive. The other ones that were serving Baal, Peor, they were what? Destroyed. Here's the meat of it. Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahawah my Allah commanded me. This is Moses letting you know, even as he commanded me, that you should do so in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. That word nations means what? It's the Greek, Salakia, not the Greek. It's the 1471. Let me see. I'm so used to getting it in there. Let me see. So I'm so used to doing it in the New Testament, the 1471, which is the Goyim. But here in the Old Testament, it's the Hebrew H597. Is that a 1 or just an arrow? No, H5 5971, right? Nation, which means what? We see it on the screen. It was used for people 1,836 times. So when you see that word people in the Bible, it could also be nation. They use it almost 2,000 times for people. And even in the outline biblical usage, we see it. Nation just means what? People. That's what it means. Strong's definition, it says a people. You see it here on the screen. A tribe, as those of Israel, troops or attendants, figuratively, a flock, men, nation, people. So we know that it's speaking about who? A people. So with that in mind, when you think about nation and you think about people, let's read it again. It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the people. What people? If you have the wisdom and you have the understanding, all those other people that are out there that are not Israel, they don't have that. They don't have this wisdom. They don't have this understanding. So you're separate. You're different. This is what it means to be set apart. Now, this is what should happen. The second part of it, let me highlight it. It says, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great people is a wise and understanding people. So if we keep the instructions that the Father has given us, the other nations will say, or the other people will say, surely this great people is a wise and understanding people. Now, this is back in the Torah, of course, when the people or the children of Israel were about to go into the land that they were given because of the forefathers. The problem is that they didn't hearken to this and didn't do it to the standard that the Most High wanted them to do. Verse 7 says, for what people is there so great who have the Most High so nigh unto them, as Yahawah our Allah is in all things that we call upon him for? What nation is there so great that have statutes and judgment so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thy eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them to your sons and thy sons and the sons, right? So we have to understand these instructions that was given to us from Genesis all the way to the book of Deuteronomy, which is the Torah, are instructions. And they're instructions for what? Let me get it real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 30, and then we'll move on. Deuteronomy 30 and 15 is where I'm going to go. The classic. Right? You can see it on the screen. It says, choose life. This is the topic. 15 says, see, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil. That's what's set before us. Every day you wake up, this is what's set before you. Life and good and death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love Yahawah thy Allah, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And Yahawah thy Allah shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thy heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other deities and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish. and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whether thou pass it over the Jordan to go and possess it. And we know that, they didn't hearken. Over time, they didn't listen. And, our brothers, our sisters, our forefathers were uprooted because they didn't hearken. Right? Now, I know we did some things in the Old Testament. Let's go to the New Testament. But before I go to the New Testament, let me get one more to give praises to the Most High. Psalms 111. And then we'll be going to the book of Matthew after that. But I want to read this to give praises to the Most High for all that he does. It says, Yahweh praise for his goodness. And that's what we're doing. Give a moment to the Most High. It says, praise ye Yahweh. I will praise Yahweh with my whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. The works of Yahweh are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure therein. His works is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. So when they say that the law is done away with and things, that's not true. His righteousness will endure forever. And what he gave us is righteous. Paul says that in the New Testament, that we know that the law is what? Spiritual. He have made his wonderful works to be remembered. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. All praises that he's full of compassion. Because if he wasn't, we would be in trouble. Verse 5, he have given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. Now, right here when it says meat, remember earlier in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, when we was reading before we went live, and we were talking about Paul, and Paul says that I couldn't talk to you as spiritual, right? I couldn't give you, what did he say? What did he call it? Anybody remember? Nobody remember? Let's see it real quick. We'll come right back just to show it. Let's see what Paul says right here. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, he says, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as what? Spiritual, but as unto carnal. Even unto what? Babes in Hamashiach. I fed you with milk and not with what? Not with meat. Because they wasn't able to bear it, he says. And neither are you now able to bear it. So Paul didn't give them meat because they wasn't able to bear it. He had to give them milk. But here in Psalms 111, we know that the Most High gives what? He said he have given them what? Meat. Unto them that fear him. So those people in Corinth, what does it show you about them? Paul says they were still fleshly, they were still carnal, showing you what? That those people were got to crying. He have given meat unto them that fear him. So those people in Corinth didn't fear the Most High. They didn't fear him. They were still going off. They were still doing things that they are not doing, causing divisions. Like he said, envy, strife. They were without knowledge. Even though the Most High was trying to give them knowledge, that's why Paul was trying to come and talk to them. But like he said, when I came, you guys are still on milk. I had to just give you a little bit. I couldn't go into the deep prophecy. I couldn't go into the deep breakdowns. Because it's like he's talking to him and everybody just looking like up in the air, looking confused, like, huh? What is he talking about? I don't understand. He have given unto them, or he have given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. Go ahead, read it. What it say? I can't see.
Yashakar.
Issachar. Yeah, Yashakar. That just means Issachar. Okay. Go ahead.
He put Isaiah 28:9.
Khan. Shabbat Shalawam, Mashkapah, Shabbat Shalawam, Khan. Isaiah
28:9.
28:9.
Shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them
That a wean from the
milk,
Khan.
from the breast.
Khan. And that's exactly what we're going into right here. God. All praises for that one right there. Isaiah 28:9. You see it on the thing. Thank you for that. The water for that. And that's what Paul was talking about. Do you want meat or do you want that milk? A lot of people still own milk. A lot of people still own milk. A lot of people. And this is why you still own milk, because you don't spend time with the Most High. You don't give him his due time that's needed. Right? So how can you get this meat if you don't give him no time? If you don't spend no time with him? You don't even know his word. You don't even know his word. If I tell you to pull up the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 5, how long is it going to take you? You're going to have to go to the index to find it? Huh? You're going to be fumbling through the thing? How long is it going to take you? You know why it take you so long? Because you don't spend time in his word. That's why. If I say, give me Isaiah 34, how long is it going to take you to go to Isaiah chapter 34? What does verse 1 say? What does verse 15 say? Like, you're supposed to know these things. How you supposed to meditate on his word if you don't know his word? This is the meat that he is giving you. But you're more concerned with Cardi B and Beyonce in the basketball game or the football game or whatever's going on. I don't know. And he have given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. Let's continue on. He have showed his people the power of his works, that he may give them a heritage, or give them the heritage of who? The heathen. When people say that, I'm not even going to get into that. The works of his hands are, what is that? Verity and judgment. All his commands are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. That's a Mashiach Yahushua, right? The Savior. He have commanded his covenant forever. Kodash and reverend in his name. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of what? Wisdom. So when you start to fear the Most High, that's just the beginning. This is why I say it's a journey. You're going to be put in that fire. You're going to go through ups. You're going to go through downs. You're going to go through trials. You're going to go through tribulations. It's a period of time. And then he'll bring you forth and manifest you. But you have to go through that fire. He has to, what you call the husbandry, he has to prune you. And for some, it's quicker. For some, it takes longer, you know. But it says the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commands. His praise endured forever. All praises be to the Father Yahweh. Call Allah Yahweh Ba Shama Mashiach Yahushai. Let's go to get some New Testament. But I do want to show that on the screen. I don't know if it's still showing. Let me see real quick. I do want to show that real quick. Isaiah, even though we read it, I just want to show it. Isaiah 28:9, right? There it is right there. Isaiah 28:9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he what? Make to understand doctrine. So you have to get an understanding of this. You just can't read it. Well, I'll take that back. You can just read it. But it takes time to get the understanding of what it is that's in front of you through the Spirit, to get the revelation of what it is. You can read it all day, but that don't mean that you're going to understand the doctrine. And this is why people get so confused. And there's so many different denominations, or so many different camps, or so many different doctrines. It's only one doctrine. And that's the one that's here. Them that are weaned from the milk and are drawn from the breast. And the reason why we have so many different doctrines is because there's a lot of individuals that are still on what? Milk. And they haven't been drawn from the breast. So once again, brother, Ahchyam, the water for that. Isaiah 28:29. 28:9, Salakia. Now let's go to the book of Matthew 10. And I'll let you get that. Matthew 10. Matthew 10. And we'll jump down to the hard road before them, right? Verse 16.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues.
Stop right there. Their synagogues today is basically in their churches, right? They're going to kick you out the churches. They're going to have councils against you, all these different things. Men are going to cast you out, right? Scourge you, right? But verse 16, it says, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. So we know as a believer in Hamashiach Yahushua and the Father, you know in this world that you live in, you're amongst wolves. Wolves running what? Packs. There's no wolf just out there on his own unless he got kicked out the pack or he's lost. All wolves running what? Packs. So letting you know that this world that we're in, they're in a pack together. They're in agreement together because they're all wolves. So Yahawashi tells us in this second part right here, let me highlight this. He says, be ye, meaning you, therefore wise as a serpent. Letting us know that the serpent is what? Anybody? The serpent is what? Huh? He's very wise. Where can we go in the Bible to establish that the serpent is one of the most wise, crafty beasts that was ever created? Where can we go to? Let's go to the book of Genesis and we'll come right back here. Starting way from the beginning in Genesis, where? Chapter 3. When we're speaking about that serpent, we know, and it says right here, go ahead, I'll let you get it. Let me blow it up on the screen. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahawah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Salakia, stop right there. Now, let's click on this word. Subtile, right? It's the H.
Strong's H, 6175. Arum. Arum.
It says
second entry.
Salakia.
Arom. Arom.
It says shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, cunning. Usually in a bad sense. So this is who it's talking about. It's talking about the serpent. Now, let's see where the root comes from, 6191. And it means to be what? Be crafty. It says right here in the outline biblical usage. This is the etymology of the word where it comes from. So it's talking about being crafty. Beware. Take crafty counsel. Be prudent. To be crafty. Anything else? To be cunning. So we know that this serpent, this devil, this evil one, he's very crafty. That's a plane. He's very crafty, right? And we read this all the way back in Genesis chapter 3. And we notice that the title is The Fall of Man. So how did the fall of man come about? It was this crafty one, this serpent. So when he tells us, Yahawashi, back in Matthew 10 and 16, when he tells us right here in the second part, be therefore wise as a serpent, you have to use what? You have to use your craftiness. You have to use certain things just like who? This serpent. Now, I'm not saying to do evil, but you have to be just as wise as he is. You have to be on the same level and platform that he is, because he has wisdom. Don't think that the devil don't have wisdom. Don't think that the devil he's just a dumb individual. No, we see in Genesis 3 that he was one of the most craftiest beasts that was ever created, that the Most High created. So YAHAWAH is saying, be ye therefore wise as a serpent, but what? Harmless as a dove. Be cautious, but be harmless. Don't bring any evil. Don't bring any wickedness to anybody. But understand the traps, the snares of the serpent. Understand these things. Let me get this one real quick. Let's go to Corinthians. Let me see. Is it 2 Corinthians chapter 4? Let me see. Yeah, 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Let me blow it up just a little more. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. It says, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of the Most High deceitfully, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of the Most High. But if our gospel is hid, it is hid to them that are lost. So if you don't have an understanding of the word of the Most High from Genesis to Revelation, Paul is saying the gospel that we preaching and bringing forth, if it's hid to you, meaning you don't understand it, it hasn't been manifest to you. It says, but if our gospel is hid, it is hid to them that are what? Lost. The reason why you don't understand it and it hasn't been manifest to you is because you're still in a lost state. It says in verse 4, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. So he is a deity of this world. He is a God of this world. He does have power in this world. He was made as a serpent. He was made very crafty, cunning, trickery. He uses these things to what? Blind the minds of them that don't believe. That's why somebody can sit up and blaspheme the Son or blaspheme the Spirit or say that they don't believe in Hamashiach Yahawashi or Christ. Some people even go as far as mocking, cursing, laughing, giggling, take the Bible, burn it, step on it. It says, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Allah, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Hamashiach Yahawashi, the Master, and ourselves your servants for Yahawashi's sake. For the Most High who commanded us, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, have shined in the hearts. So Paul is letting us know that light that's shining in our hearts, it comes from who? The Most High. John 6:44, no man can come to the Most High or come to the Son unless the Father draw him to you. Second part, right here, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of who? Yahawashi HaMashiach. Verse 7, but we have this treasure in earthly vessels, right? because we're still in the flesh. We're still in our flesh, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not for us. We don't want no glory. You go on social media, you see all type of people giving glory to men. Prophet this, prophet that. Oh, brother this, brother that. Oh, that was a beautiful lesson. Oh, that was this, it was that. Man, all praises to the Most High, because you wouldn't know anything if it wasn't up to him. But men love to give glory to who? Men. Come. We got another comment in the chat, right? Brother, huh?
Yeah, from the same.
Brother Issachar, go ahead and read it. Job 28 and 8.
No, 28.
28 and 28, Salakia. Go ahead.
To man, he said, behold, the fear of Yahawah, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Then he has Exodus 12:49.
Exodus 12 and 49. Let's go ahead and read that.
One law shall be to him that is homeborn. And unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
And that's very controversial. Hey, I like your little thumbtack. That's the same thing on my the father's name on my thing. I like that. Yeah. You know, this verse right here is very controversial, but it's, you know, especially what's going on today within the nation, where they saying the Gentiles and salvation and things like this. This is wordplay, like, you know, like some of the odds are saying, for those who really don't indulge or go deep into it. The sojourner will always be around. Okay. We know that those people will be around. The other nations, the Gentiles, they will always be around. You get what I mean? Just as they were, as the children of Israel got led out of Egypt, just as where they was in the wilderness, just when they went into the land, there were other nations around, those sojourners, right? They just under the dominion of who? Israel. So all praises be to the Most High for that.
Psalm 83:5.
Let's get it. Oh, Psalms 83 and 5. Yeah.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Right. And for those who haven't read Psalms 83 and 5, go back, read it, please, because it goes into great detail to let you know who has came together and grafted this plan against the children of Israel, right? Few nations, Edom, Moab, and some other ones, right? So if you have not read Psalms 83, please go back and read it. Once again, the water for that, the water, all praises. Beautiful verses, beautiful verses. So this is something that we want to understand, is that there is a God of this world. And yes, it is Satan. It is the serpent. And he does have knowledge. He does have wisdom. And he's very crafty with his knowledge and his wisdom, right? We have to understand that. Since we are here in 2 Corinthians, let's go to 11. 2 Corinthians 11. I'll let you grab that one. 11 and 1.
Would to the Most High ye could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. For I am jealous over you with ungodly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin, chaste virgin to Hamashiach.
Right, that was a spouse. Go ahead.
But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach. So
what is Paul, our brother, saying here? Right? He's telling you as an individual, right? But we're not individuals. We are a body, right? We are a body. But he's saying he's cleaning you up like a virgin that hasn't been touched, right? There's nothing more pure than a virgin that hasn't been touched. And then he's going to hand you back over to who? Hamashiach Yahushua. That's who's coming. That's the marriage, right? That's who we waiting on, the husbandman, our brother. And we are like in a metaphor, the virgins. You know that parable of the 10 virgins. It says 5 were wise and 5 were what? Foolish. Because they didn't have the oil. He goes on in verse 3 to say, but I fear. So he has a fear about this. This thing that's happening, he has a fear. Lest by any means, as the serpent, here it is again, talking about who? This doggone serpent. Beguiled Eve, meaning he tricked Eve, because beguiled means to trick. Through what? His craftiness. So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach Yahushua. The comparative text, just so you can see it in another way, in the New King James, it says, but I fear lest somehow the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, so your minds may be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach. The New Living, but I fear that somehow your pure and undivided devotion to Hamashiach will be corrupted, just as Eve was deceived by the cunning ways of the serpent. So he's letting us know that who was deceived? Eve. Eve was deceived. And in that, what are we getting here? He's saying the simplicity that's in who? Hamashiach. It's a simplicity to it. But the world, the churches, the congregations, the camps, everybody makes it difficult because men get involved and men want it a certain way that they want it. Let me pull something real quick and we'll come right back here. We're getting ready to close out soon. Let me go here. Let's go to the book of Sirach real quick, or better known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Let's go there. Chapter 3. This is the 1611 King James Bible, right? Ecclesiasticus, better known as the book of Sirach, chapter 3, right? And we're going to jump all the way down. Let me see where I'm going to start at. I'll just start right here at the peak of it all. Verse 21. It says, seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thy eyes the things that are secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters. A lot of Ahchyam and Ahchwathyam, brothers and sisters, are curious in things that they don't even, what does it even matter? Read the next verse, Annalise. Go ahead.
23, right?
Yeah.
Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand.
What does that mean? It's a lot of people in unnecessary matters. For more things are showed unto thee than man understand. So there are individuals out there that are curious and want to know about things that they don't need to even be concerned about or worried about. But you know why? Men get puffed up. They think they receive something and then they get puffed up. And in that, what happens? Verse 24 says what?
For For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment.
See? And who is that evil suspicion? It ain't nobody but Satan, the serpent. He has crept in, he has deceived you, and he has given you a vain opinion. And that your judgment is off now. You're overthrown. Go ahead, verse 25.
Without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge, therefore that thou hast not.
And we know it's a lot of people that profess knowledge that they don't have. You know, I've seen it.
We all have.
So don't seek out things that are too hard for you. Just worry about the things that the Most High commanded. Don't be concerned about unnecessary matters, because you could be deceived by the serpent. You could be deceived. And like I said, don't profess the knowledge that you don't have. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. There's some things I don't know. I don't have all the knowledge in the Bible. I only know what the Most High give me. And the only reason I know anything is because that's what he has given me. He give it and he what? Take it away. So I just wanted to show that real quick, you know. I just wanted to show that. We still at Psalms 83. Okay, Con. Let's go back to where was we at? 2 Corinthians 11. Con. And then it says in verse 4, for he that cometh preacheth another Jesus or another Yahawashi, whom you have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. And they do. This new Christianity, the picture of Yahawashi or Christ, that's a whole nother person. That's a whole nother gospel. That's a whole nother thing. And yet the people, they what? Receive it. They receive that. But anytime you come and you want to bring forth the true word and present it to them, the first thing they say is, that's not my God. That's not my God. You know why they say that? Because they serve a different God. The Yahawashi that's in the Bible is not the Yahawashi that they serve. Huh?
No, I was just thinking about when people be saying that.
They do. They say that. That's the one that they serve is not the one that's in the Bible. Put it like this: the one that they serve is on the walls in the congregations of the churches.
I was just laughing because they agree with everything you say until they hear something they don't like. And then they be like, "Oh, that's not mine.
That's not my God." Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So with that all being said, let's get a few more before we close out. Let's go to Revelation. And let's get into this. Because we've been talking about who? The serpent. Right? That's who we've been dealing with. And we know that the serpent, he was made very what? Crafty, cunning. And we go into this in Revelation chapter 12, talking about the red dragon, the male child. But we're going to start at verse 7. Revelation 12:7. And there was war in the Shemayim of heaven. Michael and his Malaks fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his Malaks, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in the Shemayim. And the great dragon was cast out, that old who? Serpent. Going all the way back to Genesis chapter 3. The crafty one. Called the devil. So he has many names, or titles. He's called the serpent. He's called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his Malaks were cast out with him. Now in verse 9, it says he deceiveth the whole world. Do you believe, question, do you believe that the world is being deceived or will be deceived? I said, is it being deceived now? It is?
Yes.
Okay. What you say? Is it being deceived now, or will it be deceived at a later time?
I'm not sure.
What about you?
Ahchyam, the man said, is actively being deceived.
Khan. Is actively being deceived right now. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is 100% correct. Right? A lot of people think that it's going to happen at a later time, but it's actually being done right now and has been done for a long period of time. So how do you feel about this serpent, this devil, this Satan being cast down to where you are on earth and deceiving you? How do you feel about that? Are you okay with that?
No.
You say no? What about you? You okay with being deceived? What about you? You're not okay with it? Okay. That's a beautiful thing that you're not okay with it. Nobody should be okay with being deceived. Being deceived means you're being lied to and somebody's being deceptive on the other end, meaning they're not speaking truth. It says he was cast into the earth and his Molochs were cast with him. So not only is Satan here, he has other Molochs that were cast out with him, meaning other demons. Verse 10 says, and I heard a loud voice saying in the Shemayim, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. Now, verse 10 is very powerful. Let's go into this and break this verse down. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation. Why, after Satan, Hasatan, the serpent, was cast down to the earth, why is now somebody stepping forth with a loud voice saying, now has come salvation? That's one of the first things that were stated right after that. Why? What made them state that? Now has come salvation. And then it says, and strength, and the kingdom of our Allah, and the power of his who? Hamashiach Yahushua, Christ, the anointed one. This guy, Satan, the serpent, he has been accusing the brethren before the Most High day and night. He's always going before the Most High, accusing. Everything you do, he's up there. Look at him, look at her, look at him. It says in verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. It's a lot being said here, but they were able to do it by what? The blood of the Lamb. What did the Lamb have to do? What was his job to do? Other than come forth and bring forth the word of the Most High, the gospel. We know that. Sacrifice. He had to sacrifice himself. It goes back earlier to what I was saying about in the book of Romans, right? Let me get that real quick. Remember Revelation 12 and 11. What Paul says about sacrifice, Romans 12, real quick. Romans 12 and 1, he says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies as what? A living sacrifice. The same thing that who? Hamashiach did. The lamb. The blood. Without any sacrifice or without any shedding of blood, there is no testament. There is no covenant. But now necessarily we don't have to do what? I don't have to take you out and set up an altar and say, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice you to the Most High. I don't have to do that anymore. Why? Because Yahawashi already did it. So now what do you have to do? You have to present your body as a living sacrifice. Holy, acceptable unto the Most High. And Paul says that's your reasonable service. That's the least you could do for all that he's done. The arrogancy that we have, the pridefulness that we have as individuals. You wake up and you think about what you're going to do for the day, what I want. When it comes to the word, people don't even want to hear the word. If you go too long, they're like, oh my God, when is the word gonna stop? It's like a convulsion inside of them. They can't go over an hour or two. If they were somewhere and you were preaching the word and it was what they call them, what they used to have them things when you was a kid. What is not a rivalry? It's a man. What's some things that they be having in the church that go all day and all night? I forget the name of it, but they have them services and they go like sometimes days. Like people can't take that. They make jokes about it all the time. These comedians, man, I went to church and we didn't get out of there at 5:45. So what? You can't stay in here to word for 3, 4, 5 hours, 10 hours.
It's different though. Them people ain't listening to the word.
What is it called? It's on the tip of my revive.
I know what you're talking about.
Some with an R.
It's not. What
can't think of the name. No, I know they in the church. I was just giving an example.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not what you think it is as far as like they not really listening to the word for all those hours. They up there with strobe lights, dancing, singing, doing all
having a big old concert.
And then it's like when you ask them what scriptures was read, they don't know.
Right.
They wasn't up in there.
That's true too. Man, I wish I could think of the name of that thing. Like it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know what you're talking about, but
yeah, it's like sometimes they have it for like a whole week. A revival. What is it? Revival?
A revival.
Revival, is that what it's called?
I think it's a revival. You know, but regardless of what it's called, it's to me I feel like it's a mockery because they're not even doing what they should be doing. Right.
You
know, they're not.
Well, in that sense, understand. Like, you know, I'm trying to get the name, but I think it's anyway, like she was saying.
He said it's revivals.
Revivals, that's the name. I thought it was another name.
Man said revivals.
Oh,
he also said we've been forewarned multiple times in scripture, not be deceived. And then he said grace, and then he said revivals. So I guess he was commenting like as you were speaking.
Yeah, it's revivals in. So those revivals that they have them for like a week or days or whatever. But like she was saying, yeah, you have them, but it ain't really no truth being spoken in there. They're not really going over scriptures. It's more of like a concert, dancing, singing,
and
prosperity,
like
money,
you know, things like that.
Right. Oh, we gonna raise $40,000. Like what's that? Like sap, close the doors. No, but you know,
he said for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes, you know, and that's not what it should be. You should be able to go and hear the word without any songs, without any singing, without any music, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having music before you get started, but once you get into the word, you should be able to go hours, days, whatever. You know, let me get that. Let me see.
One when he fell from the roof because.
Yeah. You got it?
No, but I knew that's where you was going.
When the boy fell out the window because Paul preached so long. Yeah, what verse? Acts 20. Let's go to that real quick and then we'll come right back. Right? Yeah. It made me think about that, Acts 20. And more than that, even when Ezra and Nehemiah and them was out there preaching, and he was out there all day, he said from the beginning of when the sun came up all the way to the whole day. Acts 20 is where we going. Let me see. And since we here, let's get it, you know. Go ahead. Acts 20:1. We're going to read all the way down to, I guess, verse 9, it says. Go ahead.
And after the uproar was ceased, Paul called unto him the disciples, and embraced them, and departed for to go into Macedonia.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had gone over those parts, and had given them much exhortation, he came into Greece.
Exhortation. Go ahead.
And there abode 3 months. And when the Jews laid wait for him, as he was about to sail into Syria, he proposed to return through Macedonia, and there accompanied him into Asia Sopater of Berea, and of Thessalonians.
Just do the best you can with the names, yeah.
And Secundus, and Gaius of Derbe, and Timotheus, and of Asia, Tychicus, and Trophimus.
But they had some names back then, didn't they? Go ahead.
These going before tarried for us at Troas.
Uh-huh.
And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread, and came unto them to Troas in 5 days, where we abode 7 days. And upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight.
Continued his speech until what?
Midnight.
Midnight. So Paul preached probably for the, you know, when he get there, all the way until midnight. It's midnight now. 12 o'clock. Go ahead.
And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together.
Uh-huh.
And there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sunk down with sleep, and fell down from the third loft, and was taken up dead.
So Paul preached so long. He talked about the word so long, preaching the word, the gospel, right? Past midnight, that this young man was sitting in the window sill. You know, he's sitting on the window. And I guess just by listening, you know, because it ain't like she say, it ain't no revival and all this stuff. Ain't none of that singing going on and dancing and shouting and all that stuff. He was preaching the word. The young man fell out the window, right? He fell out the window. To his death is what it's saying, to his death. Verse 10, go ahead.
And Paul went down and fell on him, and embracing him said, Trouble not yourselves, for his life is in him.
Mm-hmm.
When he therefore was come up again, and had broken bread, and eaten, and talked a long while, even till break of day, so he departed. And they brought the young man alive, and were not a little comforted.
So Paul preached all day and all night until the break of day, until the sun came up, and then he left. So from the day prior that he got there, when he got there, he started preaching. He preached all the rest of that day. He preached all night. From when the sun went down all that night until the sun was getting ready to come back up, he preached about the word of the Most High. So much so and so long that the man fell out the window and died. He had to go out there through the Spirit and bring him back to life. The average individual is not finna sit through that. They go to church for an hour and a half. If the church go a little bit longer than 2 hours, man, they having a hissy fit. Some people just get up and walk out. They won't even wait till the service is done. They just leave. I'm not standing here. Here's my $20. I'm gone. So what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if you want wisdom, if you want to be wise, if you want to move in a circumspect way, if you want to have this knowledge and understanding of the Most High, you have to spend time with him. I'm not telling you how much time, whether it's 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day. Only you know. But what I'm saying is you have to spend some time with him. You have to give him some time. Otherwise, how can you get this wisdom? How can you become wise? It says fools reject knowledge, and this is knowledge. So every day that goes by and you don't pick up your Bible and read it, you are a fool rejecting knowledge. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's just what it is. Because the day he woke you up, he gave you a time, of course, throughout the day for you to receive what? Knowledge. And yet you went through that whole day and did not pick up his word or meditate or think about it. None that day. And if you are a believer, you say the prayer every day, you know what? Give us today our daily bread. So we know we need this bread daily. And if you're not receiving it daily, what happens when you don't eat daily? Or what happens when you don't eat? Not saying that you need to eat this food that we get today daily, but if what happens when you don't eat, you don't feed your body. What you say? You get sick. You get malnourished. You don't have any strength. Your body is not as it should be. Why? Because your body is a machine. So it needs something to keep fueling it. Just as well as your spirit needs something to keep fueling it. This is why he gave us his word. And this is why he says, meditate on it day and night. That's the very, let's get it real quick. We read that. Let's go to Matthew 6 just to get the prayer to show that it's in there. Right. As we say, this is the prayer that you should say every day. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in the Shemayim or heaven. Give us today our daily what? Bread. Did not YAHAWAH, Hamashiach, right? Christ, the anointed one himself, said he is the bread that came down from heaven. And he told those people that you need to what? Eat me, that I am the bread. He said, my father gave the forefathers manna, but he is the true bread. Now they wanted to kill him for it because they lacked the understanding. They didn't have the wisdom and understanding. But if right here in the prayer 6 and 11 is saying, give us this day our daily bread, we need it daily. Then he says, forgive us of our debts, which is our sins, as we forgive our debtors, meaning the ones that sinned against us. So you need to forgive just as well as he forgives us. And then he goes on to say, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from what? The evil that's here in this world. This serpent that we've been talking about. The one who's beguiling everybody. The one who's tricking everybody. Then he give praises to the Most High, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Goes on 14, if you forgive men their trespasses, meaning their sins, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Right? So this is what we're talking about, the daily bread. And you need that. Let me see if I can pull that real quick. So this is what he's saying right here, right? YAHAWAH answered and said unto them, this is the work of the Most High, that you believe on him whom he has sent. They said therefore unto him, What signs showest thou there, that we may see and believe thee? What doest thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Yahawashi said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from the heaven, or the Shemayim. For the bread of the Most High is he which cometh down from the Shemayim, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Master, evermore give us this bread. Right? They want this bread. You should want the bread. We just showed it in the prayer, Matthew 6. You need it. Even in the prayer, he says, give us today our daily bread. John 6:35, it says, and Yahawashi said unto them, I am the bread. Right there. Of life. And he that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. Never thirst, Salakia. But I say unto you, that ye also have seen me and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from the Shemayim, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. You know, and we could keep going on and on and on. But the moral of the story is this bread, this manna, this word, this knowledge, this wisdom is Yahawashi today. And if you're not spending any time with him, if you're not going over his word, if you're not learning his word and giving him, like I say, at least an hour, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes minimum. You can't pick up your book. You can't pick up your Bible and read for 30 minutes. He's not worth that. And he laid down his life for you, died for you, came here and walked the earth, was bit, was spat on, mocked, murdered, cast out. And you can't even open up a book for 30 minutes, 15 minutes to read one chapter a day? Like, what do you expect? You know, so back to Revelation as we close out. Revelation chapter 12. As we get ready to close out here. Where did I leave off at? I know about the devil. Satan deceiveth the whole world, cast out in a loud voice. Now has come salvation, right? And I know it was overcame by what? The blood of the Lamb. Simple. The blood of the Lamb. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't pick up the book of Revelation. You wouldn't know that if you wouldn't read your word. How can you know these things? How can you know who's writing Revelation? Who is in the spirit? Where do we get this from? You wouldn't know this unless you read it. You wouldn't know it. So it's just important to know these things, like we said through this whole thing, from starting from the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. Are you a simple one, or are you a wise one? And it's a process, like we were saying earlier. You know, this doesn't happen overnight. You might be on your journey 10 years before you come, 15, 20 years. Look at Abraham. When he first got called, I believe he was 75, if I'm not mistaken. When the Most High came back and started giving him instructions and told him to live holy and be holy and all these things, he was 99. It's things in people's lives in the Bible that they did that were wrong, but it was a process over time that made them grow stronger, get stronger in the faith, build them up, to purge them over time. That's what makes one wise. If you going through something and you did something, how can you go to these commandments in your head and think about it? You know, like me, I'm thinking right now, dang, man, you know, we priest on the earth. Peter said that we was a royal generation, priests. I can't be like that. I can't do that. I can't be a homosexual. I can't go have sex with another man. I'm a priest on the earth. I'm a child of the Most High. But if I didn't know these things, I couldn't go to Leviticus chapter 18 where it says it's wrong to lay down with another man like that. See, I don't have to, for me personally, I'm not saying this in no gloating way, but me personally, I don't have to have a physical Bible in my hand because I open it up so much that it's in my head. And that's where you want it. This is why he says in this new, listen to this, Hebrews, and then I'll close out chapter 8. This is what he's talking about right here in this new covenant. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahawah. For what? For this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, Salakia, saith Yahawah. I will put my laws into their what? Mind. And write them in their heart. You won't need the book. You won't even need it because it'll be here. But in order for it to be here, you have to spend time with the book first so it can be here. When it says I will put it there, meaning I will give you something, he has given it to us. Like I say, I gave the example. I don't know if I did it on a live or I just did it before I went live. 10 years ago, if you had handed me the Bible and say, hey, find me Jeremiah chapter 3, man, it would have took me a great deal of amount of time because I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know if it was in the Old Testament or the New Testament. I wouldn't know where to go to. But now, if you hand me the book and you say, hey, I go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 3, this is what you will see. Boom. What verse you want? Because I know where it is. Because I spend time in it. Just like when you get in your car, you know where all the buttons do and all that. Why? Because you spend the time in the car to know what works and where things are. But if you don't spend the time in this word and in your daily bread, you won't know nothing where nothing is. You won't know. Anyway, it says, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a Elohim, and they shall be my people. See, people think that, oh, this is just going to happen like some magic. Like, ooh, no, he's doing it now. He's putting the laws in your mind right now. You should be growing. However you was 2 years ago when you came into the truth, you didn't know nothing. You didn't know where the 10 Commandments were. 2 years later, if somebody say, hey, you know where the 10 Commandments is? Yeah, it's in Exodus chapter 20, start at verse 1, work your way down. But 2 years ago, you didn't know that. That's being in your mind and in your heart. And then it says right here, verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor. You won't have to teach your brother. Why? Because it's in his mind too. But people are not doing what? They're not studying the word. They watching what? Videos. They watching people on TV. They would rather pick up the YouTube channel and click on somebody and watch them teach than actually reading the word for themselves. People watch more than they read and study on their own. And that's a guarantee. Guarantee. Because they're always asking questions about breakdowns, about this and about that. If you would read, you would have it through the spirit. But you're more concerned about getting it from a man. That's what they call like a cheat. What they call it, a cheat sheet. No, you got to do the work. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahawah, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. I'll just leave it right there. So listen, hopefully this was edifying for you. I'm not going to make it longer than what it has to be.
Chapter 9 said, got to hide the word in the heart and mind, and all things therein are brought to remembrance in the time of need.
Yeah. All things therein are brought to remembrance in the time of need. You know, and like at the end of the day, like I say, people are just waiting when it's already here. I remember when I first came into the truth and I read that verse in Revelation, and I'm like, man, when the devil come down, he gonna deceive. Oh, when the beast come, you know, they waiting on the chip in the to buy or sell, and it's like, man, people are waiting on that. We already in it. You already in it. The day you were born, you are in it. This is why you have a number. You have a serial number. You have what they call it, a social security card. You work, they give you revenue to buy and what? Sell. If you don't work and you don't have revenue, they call you what? A criminal. And then they come and do what? Arrest you because you're not doing what? As in this system, a law-abiding citizen. Meaning you shouldn't have, unless you work for us, you shouldn't have any revenue to buy or sell. The only way you can have revenue to buy or sell is through us, meaning you have to enter what? Our system. So people talking about the chip in your hand and the FRI chip and all, listen, it's already here. That's why it's so important when you watch certain things like that Matrix movie and things like that. It was stuff inside of his body that he didn't even know. When they pulled that stuff out of him, he was like, what is that? That's why when you go somewhere, when you become an adult, the first thing they ask you for is your ID. And it got a number on it. They ask you for your social security card. It got a number on it. You're just a number. You're not a person. You're a number to who? This corporation that we call America. Look it up. Do your research. This place where we live in, America, is a corporation. This is how it's able to conduct itself in the manner that it does. And if you didn't know, I just dropped this and then I'll move on. It's two types of citizens in America. The average individual, I'll say, in America is called a U.S. citizen. But there's another type of citizen in America. But this citizen doesn't need a license. He doesn't need a birth certificate. He doesn't need a social security card. He doesn't need any of those things. And you can actually buy that citizenship. But it's only few people that have it. So we just in a state of mind to where we're being deceived, like it says in Revelation 12. The devil, the serpent, he's came down, he's deceived the whole world, and everybody's just walking around.
Chapter 9 said a sovereign citizen.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? All you got to do is do a little bit of research, a little bit of bread, a little bit of manna. But people don't want it. People don't want to take the time. You know, they're more concerned about Ray J or Cheek the Keith or whoever these people are. And I'm not saying that you don't see these people on social media. You know, I'm human too. But what I'm saying was most important is the Most High. I'm going to get that in first before I do anything else. I want to watch the football game, but I'm going to make sure I read before I watch the football game. I want to watch the Laker game, but I'm going to read and get my manna, get my bread in before I watch the Laker game. I'm not going to put LeBron over the Most High. And hey, if by reading, if I get into it a little bit long and I miss the game, oh well. They got replay. If I miss it, so what? That's all I got to say, man. Just be wise. Like it said, Matthew 10:16, be wise as the serpent, harmless as a dove. Hopefully, this was edifying for you. You know, we give all praise and honor, glory to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai. Anybody got anything before we move on and close out? You know, let me get this one before we close out. One of the classic that I like going to. John, real quick, chapter 17. You know, I always like going to John. John is a very powerful book too. You know, John 17 and verse 1. It says, then these words spake Yahawashi and lifted up his eyes to the Shemayim and said, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy son, that thy son also may glorify thee, as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true Allah, and Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou hast given me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thy own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. I have manifested the name unto the man which thou hast given me out of the world. They or thine they were, and thou gavest them me. And they kept thy word. All praises be to the Father. That's who we glorify, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. With that, we say Shabbat Shalawam, and we hope that you have a beautiful Barak rest of your Shabbat day. Kwam Yasharallah. Make sure to tune into the next live. I might go live tomorrow, but stay tuned. All praises be to the Father. And with that, we say Shalawam.
Shalom.
Somebody else says something. Shabbat Shalawam. What does that say?
What?
I can't think of the name.
Oh, solid bowl roots. Shabbat Shalom throughout for your time.
Con. Make sure to tune in on the next live. If you have any questions, please email us. Let us know. If I don't have the answers, because believe me, I'm not all knowing. It's only one that's all knowing. That's the Father. Even Hamashiach Yahawashi said in Acts chapter 1, when the apostles asked, he said, it's not for us to know, you know, the times, the seasons, those things are for the Father. So all praises. But email us anytime. Let us know. We'll get back to you. And with that, we say Shabbat Shalom and Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.